Welcome to round 3 of the 2018 European Rally Championship. This is the Acropolis Rally. It's one of the most demanding and famous events on the international motorsport calendar and forms the latest challenge for the FIA ERC drivers. After 2 rounds in the Atlantic Ocean, the ERC heads in the direction of the Mediterranean Sea for the 3rd round of the championship. For more than 60 years, the Acropolis Rally has made heroes and broken many hearts. This year's event is set to be no different as the crews negotiate demanding gravel stages in central Greece. Previously on the ERC, the season kicked off in March on the gravel of the Portuguese island of the Azores, and it lived up to its wild reputation. Chris Ingram's big step up from the 2-wheel drive car to the R5 category was impressive, with a 4th place overall. Ricardo Mora was representing his home country on his home soil and navigated the gravel roads brilliantly to a 2nd place overall. Magalhães won Rally Azores in 2017 but couldn't repeat the success. It was 3rd place here, but a good start to his title campaign. And the Russian rocket Alexei Lukyanuk was brilliant in the Azores, winning comprehensively and taking the ERC Championship lead. His reputation for maximum attack and big accidents blighted his season in 2017, but it's a fresh start for him in 2018. On to the Canary Islands and round 2 for the sealed surface spectacular event where the mountains meet the sea. Fabian Krime had an impressive drive for 2nd appearance on the ERC. The double German rally champion finished 3rd on the podium. As for Nikolai Gryazin, another Russian, wasn't able to match the senior countryman Lukyanuk pace, but otherwise an impressive drive, winning the under-28 class. However, Alexei Lukyanuk, winning 10 out of 14 stages, took his 2nd win of the season. So famous for his ability and speed, Lukyanuk won rallies, but not the championship so far. But what did he change for 2018?
Yeah, we tried to do a different way this year. We changed a lot in our mind to be focused more on the result rather than on show and performance. For me, it was always been not the goal, not the aim, but the passion to drive as fast as I can. I never was focused on winning the rallies, to be honest.
This year, Lewis Allen, a race engineer coming from the World Championship, is part of the Russia Performance Motorsport team. His experience is another key element.
It helps us even with mental side, with some tactics and approach to see the things in overall. Of course, experience from WRC helps. We feel more comfortable and see some more options sometimes, and yeah, I enjoy the work together. Never feel that we already did the job and we can relax, so it's opposite. The expectations and the pressure level is getting higher, and everything can happen, and we never relax.
On this surface, a lot of drivers are battling to try and catch Alexei, as his number 1 opponent, Bruno Magalhães.
I don't have any problems to say that in normal conditions he's very, very fast and is very difficult to beat. He's with the same speed, but not making mistakes. So he's getting the experience in the championship. And even if you cannot beat him, but if you make a good rally and a good result, I will be happy.
Before the rally started, the first contest was all about a crucial experience. How were the cars 3,000 years ago? We asked some of the drivers to draw an ancient Greek cart with 1 horsepower to determine who was ready to start this Greek event. Here we go. So for one more time this year, Lukyanuk added another victory to his belt and showed everyone that the Russian rocket was ready to go, and also good at drawing. The rally takes place over 3 days, and there are almost 240 competitive kilometres and 12 special stages, which will do battle on some of these very, very hot and dusty, dry conditions. The rally is a real car breaker. Despite its beauty, it bites underneath the surface. So the leg looks like this. We start off with stage 1, the Hippodrome stage, and then on to the longer stage of the rally, Thiva. Day 2 looks like this, as we head in the classic format of 3 stages back to service, and then on the final day, on Sunday, 2 stages back to service, and then repeated again in the afternoon. But after all of that, before we can get our teeth into the rally, we've got to do the road picking. And of course, the opening of the road is going to be down to Paolo Nobre. Juuso was quickest in the qualifying stage, taking 12 overall. He wants to go and capitalise on the swept line from the previous competitors. Alexei was second quickest in the qualifying stage and decided to go 15th on the road, so had a really, really swept line for him. But before that all got underway, the circus headed down to Athens for the ceremonial start on a long, long road trip to get the event officially underway. Underneath the Acropolis Citadel, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and for a quick family photograph before the action got underway. Plenty of future rally drivers on hand to wave the drivers over the start ramp. Flags off and they're underway. Leg 1 kicks off with 2 special stages. Built purposely for the Olympics held in Greece a few years ago, stage 1 was 2.6 kilometres in length, and it was the Hippodrome stage. Paolo Nobre first on the road. Brazilian would be the first to experience how little grip there was there on the surface, and straight onto Thiva after that, the longest stage of the day. Heavy impact for him on the first stage. Alexandros Tistoulovdas from Cyprus in the Citroen had all sorts of problems in stage 2 with a gearbox problem and picking up damage as well. Big issue for him, holding on to 8th place overall. First time we've seen Juuso Nordegren from Finland. Despite being quickest in the qualifying stage, Juuso's rally got off to a difficult start. He was 7th in the stage 1 and a little off the pace.
We spun in one junction. We went wide under the lines and we had to reverse, but surprisingly slippery, still in our position, but otherwise quite okay, but we lost a lot.
The rally started okay for Lukasz Habaj, running 9th on the road on stage number 1, but it all went wrong on stage 2 when he crashed out of the stage, dropping him to 25th overall because of this impact. Left the team with a lot of work to do overnight in the service park to rebuild Habaj's Fiesta, staying up till 2 a.m. in the morning to get that fixed. It was a good start to the rally for Norwegian Ivan Brynildsen. He was 5th on stage 1 and fastest on stage 2, and at one stage it looks like he was going to be fastest in the event. However, that didn't count, because a certain Russian driver was breathing down the neck of the Norwegian experienced driver. Alexei Lukyanuk picks up a puncture in the opening stage of the event. Front right Pirelli just popping off the rim there. Dropping time. Finishing 12 seconds down and in 20th place at the end of the opening special stage. However, with steely eyes of determination onto the second stage of the day, this is the longest one. Lukyanuk was not giving up without a fight. The classic Thiever stage. Lukyanuk straps himself in and blitzes everybody else to the weeds, 44.5 seconds faster than Brynildsen.
I was in the stage mode because I lost a lot of seconds and I thought that we need to get some time back. No crazy things. I think it was a reasonable drive, but really on the pace.
2 stages down out of 12 on the Acropolis rally, round 3 of the championship, and Lukyanuk is leading now, 33.5 seconds ahead of Brynildsen. Jusso Nordgren is in 3rd overall. Saturday was going to be hot for leg number 2, temperatures up and over 30 degrees Celsius on what's going to be a very demanding day on the Acropolis rally. 3 tough stages will be repeated in the afternoon. The classic format for the ERC, 3 stages to service, back out and doing them all over again in the afternoon. So in the heat of the summer sunshine, plenty of spectators wandering into the stage, and Grib is the first driver on the road this morning. Started well for him. Saturday stages are the top 10 in reverse order, so Grib's got the job of sweeping some gravel off the stage. Impressive stage for him. And for Norbert Herzig was improving and all the time very consistent in the stages, only 8th quickest in stage number 3, but seemed to be gaining confidence. 5th quickest in stage 5 and 4th fastest in the 3rd stage of the loop. This is Yuri Protasov from Ukraine. Leg 2 started quite well for the newcomer. He was 4th on stage number 3, however a puncture on a tough rocky stage in stage 4 cost him a lot of time, forcing him to stop and change it mid-stage. Taking just over 2 minutes to swap that tyre over in the stage. Bruno Magalhães was going well, quick and consistent for the Portuguese driver. 3rd fastest in the 1st stage of the day.
Direitilha para a esquerdilha, 20. Direitilha, 30 pela esquerda lá acima. Direita 4 mais, não pode.
And then on the rest of the stage, he was doing everything he could to avoid the huge rocks in the stage.
In the 2nd stage, when I start to see the big stones and rocks and everywhere, everything on the road, in some corners I stop and I pass for the other side. It's a strategy.
Jusso from Finland grows up on gravel roads, but not quite rough like they are here in Greece. This is slightly different driving styles for the ERC newcomer. With factory support from Skoda, things are going okay for him on stage number 4. But he got a puncture in the 1st stage of the day, swapping his tyres round on the road section to suit softer compounds in the back. For the 2nd test of the day, suffering a double puncture in the back of the car. Very, very disappointing for him.
Dragging itself along.
Ivan Brynildsen was running in 2nd place overnight, everything starting very, very well for the Norwegian. Finishing stage 3 in 2nd place, but in stage number 4 was quickly developing a reputation for eating tyres. This was a real tough stage, this one. And Brynildsen was the next victim to get a puncture. It cost him time. Finished 2 minutes and 49 seconds behind stage winner Bruno Magalhães for Brynildsen. Experienced co-driver Veronica Elgen sat alongside the Norwegian. Alexei Lukyanuk had gone from 0 to hero in stage 2 on Friday morning during leg 1. It looked like everything would carry on his way, but more problems for Alexei. Stage 4 was about to claim its biggest victim. Trying hard to avoid the rocks, but a crash left him with a broken wheel and missing a drive shaft. He eventually managed to fix the car, but lost loads and loads of time.
It's something like in Azores last year when I tried to go more carefully and slowly, and that's why I was too inside in the corner and touched something, so we damaged it.
Talking to us on ERC radio, looking at the end of the stage. Looks like this, Magalhaes got the lead of the rally. Grib is 53.7 seconds behind him. Herzig is lying in third. Join us after the break for some hot ERC action in the Panassos Mountains. We're in Greece for the Acropolis Rally. Welcome back to the Acropolis Rally. It's round 3 of the 2018 European Rally Championship. And drivers are facing some hot temperatures today, with 3 more slippery stages full of dust and plenty of rocks to pound those tyres as they head through these stages. But ERC2, the big Mitsubishi cars look like this. Sergei Remenik, leader of the ERC2 Championship, made several mistakes.
It was in the last previous stage when we got puncture, so after we slide a bit and hit a rock. So, but as far as you know, everything's okay over there. Yeah. We're still on the road and stages are really perfect. Very tough and complicated.
Despite his problems, he won 2 stages of the day. He's third overall in the ERC2 after leg number 2. Travelling all the way from Argentina, Juan Carlos Alonso, quite a mature driver, starts the day with a problem of the fire extinguisher going off in his car, but they managed to rectify that problem in service and he's out and back on the road again, second in ERC2, 51 seconds behind the leader, which is Tibor Erdi Jr., the reigning ERC2 champion, is one more time leading the category. He won in Canaries last time out. Disastrous start to the season in the Azores when his wheel fell off in the first stage of the event. As for ERC3, Arthur Meredin from Russia managed to roll in the qualifying stage. His co-driver lost his mobile phone out the window, but they found that in the hedge. Young Russian doing well, he crashed again in stage 5 and had to retire. Amrit Raj Ghosh from India. The double Indian champion, Ghosh chooses the ERC to build his experience on international competition. It's his second rally outside India and is leading in ERC3. The afternoon session didn't start smoothly, with Albert von Thurn and Taxis hitting a rock in his Skoda, breaking a gearbox and his car blocking the road. Unfortunately, all the drivers have stopped and delayed.
Bad luck for a friend of mine, Albert. Hit that stone and now stage stopped.
So all the drivers were given a nominal time and proceeded on to the next stage. From Cyprus, Simos was having a good day in the afternoon, avoiding trouble and steadily working his way up into contention despite a spin on the final stage of the day. Countryside looks absolutely brilliant here, but the drivers don't get a chance to look out the window. Herbert Petaszek from Poland driving another Skoda Fabia. Petaszek had to keep his head down and was working his way up the order to avoid any trouble today, driving consistently and again avoiding the rocks. In the second pass this afternoon, after the drivers had been back to service, everybody had elected to raise the ride height of their R5 cars just to avoid those big stones that were getting in the way. Gregor Griab, fellow countryman as well, from Poland, trying to avoid the rocks and was third quickest in stage 7. Unfortunately, on the final stage of the day, he broke his wheel and eventually finished over 3.5 minutes down, dropping him down the running order. Just testament to how tough these cars are. It's absolute car-breaking event this, but nobody suffered suspension damage. It was just the wheels that were suffering with trouble here. Norbert Herzig was having a good day whilst the others were struggling in the heat, pushing hard and steadily moving up the leaderboard. He's fastest on stage 7 and now up to second in the rally, despite having brake issues towards the end of the final stage of the day. Again, Norbert raising the ride height to avoid those huge rocks in the stage.
We knew that our tires not too perfect before the start, and that's why I tried keep the quality the tires. That we are here. This is a big story for us.
Tyre preservation was the key to Saturday afternoon stages, and Bruno again with a heightened car and preserving his tyres. He was now leading the rally and started the afternoon cautiously, driving around the big rocks in the morning loop of stages. However, in the afternoon he was feeling a little bit more confident, having switched to the harder tyre compound, and now was pushing, trying to consolidate his advantage before the end of leg number 2.
30. Direita 6.
Looking at the surface, it's amazing to see how these cars actually get to the end of the stage, but they're built well.
I realized that I need to save the car, and I have put the hardest compound of Michelin. Of course I lose speed, but in the final of the round was good, because in the other stage I couldn't win time, but now maybe I have for this stage better tires than the other, and I avoid the puncture, so I'm happy, very happy with my day, of course.
Bruno's happy with his day, but Ivan Brynildsen, having struggled in the morning's stages with his tyres, he was pushing hard to make up for lost time, desperate to try to get himself back into contention before the final day of the event. But in the final stage of the day, Brynildsen's headset, his intercom doesn't work with Veronica. So they resorted to phoning each other on their mobile phones so Veronica could shout the pace notes out. But as they went over the mountain, they lost mobile phone reception to get the notes from one side of the car to the other. Veronica opting then to use hand signals to denote the number of gears that Ivan should be using. Clever stuff and innovative stuff to get them through these tough Greek stages. So, after leg 2, it looks like this. Magalhães is out in front, comfortably. The Acropolis Rally is certainly living up to its reputation as arguably one of the toughest events on the ERC calendar. It's been a drama aplenty all the way, and there's still more to come on leg number 2. Will Magalhães win his first rally of the season? Round 3 of the ERC continues shortly. One more time, the drivers have to face really hard conditions during the Acropolis Rally. It'll all be the same for leg number 3. Between the rocks and the hedges, up in the hills, who will avoid the punctures? Who will be fastest and consistent enough to beat the dust and the heat? The final day is going to be absolutely epic. It's the Sunday roast on the final day of the ERC on the Acropolis Rally. Today's stages are some of the tough and rocky roads that will be focusing the mind on the drivers. And as the mistakes at this point could be disastrous, everybody has to be completely focused for the final 4 stages. Stages 1 and 2 run in the morning, back to service and back again in the afternoon. Jusso is here from Finland. Factory's backing from Skoda, and he's into the first stage of the day. He had a bad day on Saturday, suffering that double puncture in stage number 4 and damaging the car, but he's back for some more ERC action on the final day of the event, on a mission to salvage as many points as he can. So is Lukas Habai. Final stage of the day on Saturday, he broke a wheel and actually had to put out a small forest fire because his brake disc shattered into the woods, but he managed to get back on the pace. It's not been the best rally for him, but he's using this as a learning curve. Biggest story of the day was that championship leader Lukkanuk damaged his car in stage number 4 and was left with the team having to do a lot of work to get that back together again. You can see here from our engineer Cam working hard on the Fiesta to get that done and fixed. Alexei managed to get this car fixed at the roadside, just doing some Russian roadside repairs, but the team just nevertheless have to make sure it's all fixed and ready to go. And he's into the stage. Pushing hard to undo the damage done on his championship advantage. He was second quickest in stage number 9 and fastest in stage number 10. Not too bad considering he clipped a tree and damaged his rear left wheel on this stage.
It was okay. We adjusted the geometry a bit and pumped the brake. In the previous stage we had a really big problem with brakes, and that's why we were slightly wide. It was right before this corner where I felt the softness in the pedal and it disturbed my attention a bit, and we went slightly wide.
Big push for Ivan Brynildsen. He was suffering with a puncture yesterday, and the tyre killing stage 4 knocked him off the podium. However, taking a very, very brave approach on Sunday, electing to take one spare tyre with him, saving 23 kilos in the boot of his Fiesta. Massive push for him today. He's got the Russian in sight and the third step of the podium, trying hard to get up there, lying in 4th at the moment. Simos is back for some more ERC action on leg number 3, driving defensively and watching his times and trying to hold back the hard-charging Norwegian behind him. But at the end of the day, Brynildsen was just too quick, dropping the Cypriot down to 5th. Kuba Potashek was still in with a shout at the win. But with such a high rate of attrition on this rally, anything can happen. The victory was still wide open for him at this point. Potashek pushing hard to catch Norbert Herzig, who is in 2nd place. Potashek also knows that Brynildsen is charging behind him, and any slip could cost him that podium.
6 minus prawy szczytem, 300, 6 plus lewy szczytem 100, max hamuj 5 plus prawy szczytem 32 minus prawy.
We have some moments, but anyway, we try to back off just to keep the position. That's our plan for today.
Norbert Herzig was pushing on, knowing that there was also a chance to win a round of the ERC, his first podium of the season. His first podium of his ERC career, indeed. On stage number 9, the Hungarian driver took over 21 seconds out of Bruno Magalhães' lead. He was beginning to believe that maybe this could be his day, apart from a mistake. In stage 10, he ran wide, delaying him and costing him valuable time as well. The time that he'd gained on Magalhães was then lost a little bit.
Tehát 80-ra jobb 2 tempó, majd 150, és utána jobb 2 tempó megint, és 30-ban fék, bal 1 és bukkanóról jobb 4. Jobb 2 tempó, 30-ban fék, bal 1 és bukkanóról jobb 4.
Not quite as mountainous as we were on Saturday. Saturday's stages on the Acropolis rally were held up in the Panassos Mountains. For the final day of the event, we were just north of the city of Lamia, a little more smooth and open.
I made a mistake. We went next to the road, and the engine was stopped, and we lost some second.
The overnight leader Bruno Magalhães had realised that with Leclerc struggling in the rally, there was a good chance here to kickstart his championship charge. The pressure seemed to get to Bruno in the morning though, and he was slow in stage number 9. But with a good number of seconds in hand, he had that buffer gap there just to keep out in front from the pole and also the Hungarian driver behind him. On stage 10, his co-driver Hugo was encouraging him to push hard and not to be so cautious. Seemed to work well for Bruno. He was back in the zone in stage 10 and set an impressive good time.
I think was a little bit better. Okay, I didn't take so many risks, and but you improve. It's good. You win some time for the second now. Of course, you need after the first stage you need to make a better stage now, and everything under control for the moment.
So roasting in the sunshine down to the service park in Lamia. Hot temperatures on Sunday, over 30 degrees Celsius with little wind. Chance to cool off with a little bit of slot car racing action in the shade. Barbecues smell absolutely great in the service park as well. Makes you feel hungry as the Sunday roast continues on the ERC with 2 stages left to go. Magalhaes is out in front by 50.9 seconds now. Norbert Herzig is lying in second. Potashek is in third. Coming up after the break, we've got some high-speed assault on the senses on the FIA ERC. The 2018 Acropolis Rally continues. Victory isn't certain yet for Bruno Magalhaes, with 2 more tough stages to come. Welcome back to Greece. This is the Acropolis Rally. Central Greece is beautiful in June. It's hot and sunny, and with a party atmosphere up in the hills, everybody's here to watch the ERC drivers round 3 of the championship. Let battle commence on these historic hills. So, Juan Carlos Alonso from Argentina, driving in ERC2, was on a charge and charging up the field. He won both of the Sunday morning stages, but rolled in the penultimate stage of the event.
It's really a shame for us, but it could be happen when you try to push. We need to push to get the second place in our category we are taking, and no good.
Russian driver Sergei Remenek had a disastrous Acropolis rally last year, but is going well this year, trying to catch championship leader in ERC2, Tibor Erdi Jr. for first position. Managed to stay consistent all day long and finishes 3rd time in a row of the season, 2nd position for him. Tibor Erdi Jr. dominated the production class, goes for the win in ERC2 following his win in Canaries.
Yeah, we are very happy. Very good job for my co-pilot and for me and the team. We make a good race, not have a mistake, not have a puncture, and that's good.
In ERC2, Erdi was on top step of the podium. Remenek was in 2nd from Russia, and Zelindo Meligari from Italy was 3rd overall. Good on Zelindo. He moved up the leaderboard, capitalising on the demise of Juan Carlos Alonso, who rolled in the penultimate stage of the event. Remenek leads the championship at the moment. Erdi is 2nd, Alonso 3rd overall in ERC2. Amrejad Josh discovered the ERC this weekend. Based in London in the UK. Certainly enjoying his first ERC. It's his 2nd rally outside India. Leading the class in ERC3 pretty much from the start to bring his Fiesta R2 home. He's enjoyed himself.
But the goal was to finish, but somewhere in the middle of the back of my mind I knew that if we got to the finish we would at least be on the podium. And yeah, it's been great. I couldn't believe it. I want to thank my family. They're the reason I'm here, and that's all that matters.
So Gosh on the top step of the podium in ERC3. As for the big boys, Jusso, the flying Finn, is back with the main contenders. Tough rally for Jusso, this one. It's been a steep learning curve for him in Greece. Not quite the loose surface that he's used to in Finland. Finland's fast. Acropolis rally is very, very bumpy. As for Russian Alexei Lukyanuk, he won the Azores and he won in Gran Canaria, but there wouldn't be a hat-trick for him in Greece. The ERC Championship leader did finish by winning the last two stages of the rally. But how will he get on the next event in Cyprus? Lukyanuk coming towards the end of the final stage. Next round on the championship is Cyprus.
Yeah, we try to look positive in the future, so next rally in 2 weeks, we refocus for that.
Short and sweet interview from Alexei at the end of the stage. However, Ivan Brynildsen, second time we've seen him on the ERC this season. Brynildsen was throwing everything in his comeback to the rally today, pushing hard and listening to the guidance from Veronica, co-driving with him. He moved up to 4th in the rally in the morning. His sights on Potashek, who was lying 3rd overall. A risky strategy taking one spare tyre with him today, but new tyres for the final loop of stages just to get some extra grip planted down on the Acropolis stages, throwing everything he possibly can at it. But a damaged rear differential for him left him with just front-wheel drive on the final stage. Potashek didn't really know that Brynildsen was in trouble and was still pushing to maintain that gap. He was also hoping there was a chance of catching the second place position held by Norbert. But time was running out and so were the stages. However, to be on the podium on the Acropolis rally is a massive achievement to himself. Latter part of the stages for Potashek. First time on the podium in the ERC.
I know that before the rally that it will be, you know, really rough rally, but I don't expect that rough. So it was so many stones, so many things, but we survived just with the one puncture, let's say. So it's really good for us.
Norbert Herzig may not have been the quickest driver here in Greece, but he was confident and consistent and had a calculated approach to this rally, but managed to avoid any major dramas along the way and didn't panic under pressure. His first assault on the Acropolis rally kept himself clean, and where other failed, he moved up the leaderboard and earned his place on the podium. I don't think Norbert realised quite how tough Greece was on his 3rd attempt this season.
It was unbelievable for us. I don't find the words. Before the rally, I didn't think that we will be able to reach this position. So unbelievable for us.
Bruno Magalhaes started the final stage of the event with a gap of 43.5 seconds, his advantage over Herzig. Bruno's starting the stage just 2 minutes behind Herzig, so doesn't really know what's happened in front of him. So it's just as well that he had a healthy lead, as Herzig was actually faster than him on both sessions, eating into that gap on the final 2 stages. Like we saw in the morning 2 stages, Bruno was being cautious on the final stage of the event, almost too cautious and running the risk of throwing away the win. But in the end, though, it proved to be enough cushion of time for him to take that victory on the Acropolis rally. His sponsor is from Greece as well, supported him right throughout his 2017 and 2018 campaign. Bruno wins the Acropolis rally. In the heat of the summer sunshine, There's lots of family celebrations at the end of the final stage, high up in the hills above Lamia.
Sometimes in our lives the dreams come true. And win a rally like Acropolis, put my name in the album, is absolutely crazy. Thanks to my sponsors, I want to dedicate this vigor to them. They believe in me since many years. And it's a big pleasure, of course, to win here in the country of Seajets. And I want to dedicate this for them as well. Thank you everybody. Sorry for you.
Bruno does get quite cut up and quite emotional at the end of the stage, but especially when he wins, and especially when he wins such an incredible and iconic rally such as the Acropolis rally in Greece. It's been running for over 60 years, and at the end of the day, Magalhães wins the 2018 edition. Norman Herdzig was second, Herbert Ptaszek third, Ivan Brynildsen just missing out on that podium, fourth overall in the standings. So then back down to the service park in Lamia, a quick 10-minute service and dust down, thank the sponsors, and then head over the podium with that very, very tough, well-built Skoda Fabia R5. Lukanek still leads the championship by 83 points. Bruno Magalhães has 69 points. Herdzig is lying third overall. So round 3 of the championship all wraps up after 12 special, hot, rough, bumpy, car-braking stages. Time to rave the silverware, as always, on the ERC in the heat of the Sunday afternoon, to wrap it all up for 2018's edition of the Acropolis Rally. Bruno ultimately takes victory and tastes that sweet champagne of success. A important win for Bruno. He knows that it will reboot his championship for 2018, and all will change next up when we head to even hotter climates. We're going as far east as the ERC travels on its European adventure. We are off to Cyprus in the heat of the summer sunshine for another car-braking, rough, tough roller coaster ride on the ERC. Round 4 of the championship is coming up next. From all of us on the FIA European Rally Championship, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in Cyprus.